welcome to our very first Shop Talk. I have the pleasure of interviewing Chloe Powell today. Chloe, for those of you who don't know, has been in the business for 3 years and 3 months to the day, actually, I think, per LinkedIn. But no, Chloe is an absolute powerhouse in the real estate industry. And if I can I gush on you a little bit? Can I gush? Okay, wonderful. So, I'm going to read this so I don't get it wrong.
You might see me blush a little bit.
Just a little bit. That's okay, though. That's okay. NVAR Platinum Top Producer Award, 2021, 2022. Okay. DAAR Top Producer Award. Fastest Growing Homesnap Agent, 2021. Hello, people. You were nominated for Loudoun Time's Best of Loudoun Award in Residential Real Estate, 2021, 2022. And this year, I don't think it's out yet, but I know you will be. And you made it into the top 5 each time, and then nominated for Loudoun 40 Under 40. So in those very short 3 years, you are just killing it. And so this is just so exciting for me. Thank you for being here with me and allowing me to interview you. So for some of you that don't know Chloe's background, you started off pre-med. So how did that influence how you do business now?
Well, I feel like I've had the most schooling ever for a real estate agent.
Yes.
So I went through 4 years of undergrad.
Yep.
I started working when I was actually 12 years old. I was doing like volunteer work in the hospital, like candy striping. And then my first job, I worked with an oral and maxillofacial surgeon, and I was a medical assistant. So I'd like hold the person's head during oral surgery, and then also handle their IV and their like post-treatment process when they were waking up. So I've been working literally every summer, pretty much every week since I was like at least 15.
Awesome.
But I did, I think it's important for people to realize when to move on and learn what they're actually good at. Because, my parents are British. I was like the first American, then we moved over here and they really wanted me to live their American dream. My dad had built his own business and he had the American dream. He'd been from like rags to riches kind of story. And he wanted that for me. And so I wouldn't say they pressured me into becoming a doctor or anything, but they definitely wanted me to succeed in life.
Right.
And becoming a doctor, that's what the goal was, right? Like everyone thinks that becoming a surgeon or becoming a doctor is what it's all about.
Right.
And so I did that. I took all the MCATs. I did all of the hours that you have to get in order to become a doctor. I worked nights during college in the ER. Literally did all the volunteering. Had a really good GPA. Had all the extracurriculars. Took my MCATs. I'm not good at the tests at all.
Oh, I'm terrible at the tests. You're
Yeah.
not alone. Yeah.
So I didn't get in. I tried 3 times, and then I decided I'm gonna go to get my master's. So I was getting my master's at Johns Hopkins, and I thought that this would be like the segue into like getting into med school. But then I had a really important person in my life tell me, look, Chloe, becoming a doctor is not all it's meant to be.
Right.
He taught me about biotech and business and everything. So I started taking a lot of classes involving that. I actually created a startup, or at least pitched to some venture capitalists about like how to create wine without grapes. And I really loved that. I really loved like pitching to people, like learning about business, learning about how to like what your market, your target market would be, or pretty much how to build a business from the ground up. So then I was doing research for a few years, and I decided, I really hate working in a basement. I hate doing the consistent things day in, day out. How can I get out of this? So step 1, I started working as a consultant for a business, and I started doing sales, traveling to New York every other week, and it was great. I got to travel, I got to speak to people, I got to do different things every day, and so
you've literally consulted with Fortune 500 companies, pharmaceutical companies, academic institutions, hospitals, small businesses.
Yeah, pretty much anything, like anything that involves behavioral research, I've dealt with. So if someone's studying like animal research or wants to learn about user experience or how to build a better website, I've done it. So it's really interesting.
That's amazing.
And so when I was learning about the ins and outs of business, I wanted to learn from a startup. So then I was a director of strategy and innovation for a startup for a few years, learned how to basically grow that business.
Right.
And that's where I found, look, I know I need to be a business owner. How can I become a business owner?
Right. You've had that in that fire of entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
I would say literally since the age of 12 when you started working,
just love working.
Just love working. We all love working, right? Yeah.
I really, my husband last night, we were on a date and he was like, Chloe, you literally could not be a housewife. Like, you just can't be someone with no job. And I was like, yeah, I could. Like, I would love it if you could just be the breadwinner and, like, make a lot of money and I could just stay home. And he's like, no, you couldn't.
We can live our Martha Stewart dream.
Yeah. But he's like, no, you have to work. And it's true. Like, everything I try to do, whether it's a personal hobby of mine, I try to monetize it in some way. Which is kind of exhausting. But that's just my life and who I am. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, I don't think you should ever lose that, nor do I think you will ever lose that, because it's just what makes you tick and what feeds you. So now you're at the point, you're traveling back and forth to New York. So was it like an aha moment one day where, you're thinking, who am I? I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm helping these businesses. I want to be able to run my own business. Was there an aha moment when you said, okay, I'm going to get my license, I'm going to go into real estate? Had you owned before that when you were doing everything else, or was it, it wasn't until you were going through that process that you decided to get your license? Tell me kind of about that.
So, I think it was really when, I met my husband Romy in the beginning of 2019, and I think without him, I wouldn't have pursued getting my real estate license, because it is really difficult to become a business owner by yourself, like an individual. And so I got my license because I had bought my first home. I'd actually ran a couple of other businesses that did not go well at all. We're not going to talk
trial
about
and error.
that.
That's okay.
And so it's like, what are things that I'm really passionate about? And I bought my first house when I was 22, and I had a 2-bedroom condo. I rented out the other bedroom, and then I sold that, bought a townhouse, rented that out, bought another townhouse, sold that, and then now we have the single-family home. And hopefully eventually we'll have a better home. But we're not there yet, or maybe even a vacation home. Right. But it's like, going on, basically the stairs of home ownership. You start with your little property and gradually go up and up and up. And obviously this looks different for everyone. But
no, of course, and learning every step of the way, I'm sure, as you, purchase your first home to, having someone rent with you and then moving up from there.
Yeah. And when I talked about this story when I bought my first home, the guy, he was like a traditional real estate agent. He was like driving me in his car from condo to condo, searching for things. We never really sat down and talked about what I wanted or anything. He was like, what's your budget? I'm showing you these houses. And then we went and saw them, and there was one that I liked, and we bought it. And at closing, he gave me a value pack coupon book, which I remember.
What?
Yeah, it was literally a value. The one you get mailed to your home.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
It was that. And so I got. I just wanted to change that process. I literally knew nothing about what I was going through.
Right.
I knew nothing about what I was signing. I knew practically nothing about buying a home, and I wanted to change that. And I also felt, I was a single female, buying my first home. And I wanted to help other people do that as well, because it is extremely difficult to buy a home as a single person. But I think as soon as you have your first job, you need to start saving and buy your first home.
It's the biggest investment you'll make, and the most important, and help you down the road.
For sure.
It's amazing.
So that's how it started. And it's definitely, you have to have a craving for learning, because it is a steep learning curve. You are just thrown with weird things every day, no matter how long you've been in the business.
Right. Every day is new. Every day is new. That's incredible. I just, from where you started to where you are, I can definitely see, everything that you've done has helped you to become who you are right now, as successful as you are. I know you know, truly 3 years, we think, oh, that's a long time, but I'm sure that's been like a blip for you in terms of growth. And you also, from starting the business in 2019, you were kind of then thrust right into the pandemic. In a sense, and growing your business through that, which is another incredible feat. So that's just, wow.
Yeah, actually the first home I sold was my own. And I put it on the market the day that the world shut down. I think it was like March 5th of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
And it stayed on the market. It actually closed on like June 5th. Because there was like May, literally nothing. Like literally nothing happened. So that was, it was like my first, it was the hard part of real estate.
Yeah.
And then, you know, getting clients and everything, I knew, you know, I'm probably not going to be making money for a while.
Right.
I needed my other job.
Yep.
And how can I build my business without spending a lot of money? And that's why I focus on social media.
So that's kind of where I wanted to lead my next question with you. So you, in my mind, and I know you may be like, Alex, no. So I just look at you and I'm like, oh, you are such a powerhouse on social media. And I think the reason is because you're, what I see, it's methodical, you do it every day, and you're very real on social media. So whether you're posting, you know, tips for home buyers, or whether you're, you know, doing a get ready with me on TikTok video, and you're just talking about your own personal experience that you've dealt with within real estate or just in life in general, it's no wonder that, you know, I think your clients feel comfortable with you because they really get to know and see who you are. So talk to me a little bit about how do you stay on top of all your social media platforms? How do you track your, you know, leads that come in from social media? Do you treat them differently than you do if a lead comes from, you know, Homesnap or Zillow or somewhere else? Kind of how does that look? Kind of paint a picture for me.
Well, I don't get any leads from Zillow. So basically 91% of my leads come from Instagram directly. And
people, this interview, I mean, hello, thank you, thank you.
And I mean, the other 9% come from sphere of influence and referral. And I would say that's why I have great experiences with all of my clients, is because they come directly from social media. They already know who I am. They've already seen what I do. They've already seen my client experience. They know what they're getting into. They've already been educated. And of course I, you know, back that up with like, I have my email rhythms and everything that I send them and continually hold their hand throughout the process. But it's like night and day, like the different quality of leads you could probably get from someone who just, you know, saw you on the side of the street or something.
Right.
Yeah, or a Zillow lead, because I've heard, I mean, I haven't had that experience, but I've heard that they're very difficult. And I knew, as I've cold called before in my other businesses, and it's too difficult. And you have to, that has to be your bread and butter. You have to wake up, you need to like live, breathe cold calling all day. That's just not the type of business I wanted to create. And I think for me, I just do the same thing, but on social media. So I am waking up every morning, I'm going through my birthday list. I'm going through like A to Z of my phone book and texting them saying, you know, hey, you know, I saw this at the store, I was thinking of you, or, you know, let me invite you to my next event, or blah, 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 right? Or I'm going on Instagram, I'm looking through local hashtags and kind of finding people that I want to invite into my page. And I'm not DMing them, I'm maybe commenting or liking on a few of their things. But most of all, I think the most important thing to do is actually responding to people's stories. Because it is like, I think commenting on someone's post or sending them a DM is kind of like creepy.
Wait, if they don't know you,
Exactly. But like responding to someone's story is like very organic. It's like, oh, I mean, even people that you don't even know, like Andy Cohen, for example. You'd respond to a story. You're not expecting anything back, right?
No, never,
But it's like nice if they do. It's like kind of breaking the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like to do, is just respond to people's stories. Then they can look at my profile, see what they like, you know.
Right, and see who you are and get a sense of you,
and kind of create a relationship. And then in my stories is pretty much where I post pretty much every day. I try to post on stories, and I'll be sharing things about my life, what I'm doing today. You know, if I've had something come up in conversation, I'll post it there. And then I have these marketing lead magnets, as we call them, that are essentially free guides that people can download. And when they download them, it goes to a link, and I capture their email, and then they're put into like a marketing funnel. So they get my emails. So I've grown my whole business that way. So I think there's like less than 1,000 people in there, but I only need that many. I don't need that tens of thousands of people.
Right.
I just need those types of people to talk about me, share my posts, save my posts, all that stuff online.
Right. And what is it? It's like, no,
like
share.
No trust.
Like no trust, right. And they are, because they feel connected to you after a while. I mean, I think even, you know, before I met Chloe, I social stalked. What are you going to do? Hello, that's the world we live in. But I did have a sense, oh, you have dogs, I have dogs. It starts building that little connection and makes you feel more comfortable. So I just, hats off to you. I know that this is like, your business is your labor of love. It's, your baby in a sense.
And it's hard. It's really hard. Like, I would just encourage everyone who's listening to this, like, just go ahead and post, because you never know what's going to come from it.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. I didn't start off perfect. I was, like, when I first started, I was wearing makeup that was, like, 10 shades too light for my face. I, like, look back on these videos and cringe. And it's, like, it's fine, because nobody's perfect. Like, I'm still learning every day. Everything changes every day.
Yeah.
You just, like, just share it. Just share what you're thinking.
Well, because it's authentic.
It is.
It's authentic. So, is there, as social media is changing every day, are there certain blogs you read? Are there different pages you go to kind of get the most up to date info on what's happening with social media, or different social media platforms? I know they're all a little bit different.
Yeah, I would say I like looking outside of the real estate industry.
Okay. Yep.
I tend to think that the real estate industry is kind of like years behind what everyone else is on. So I'm a part of the Good Influencer by Chris Loves Julia. So we just did a challenge where it was like race to 10K. I'm not at 10,000 followers, but I'm not expecting to be at 10,000 followers. And I'm also a part of Modern Agent Social Club, which teaches agents on how to do better on social media. And then I love following Brock Johnson. I'm also part of his like influencer hub or creator hub that he created, and it's a great way to learn about kind of the systems that you need behind social media. And some of the systems I use are like ones that I don't think anyone else uses, but it's something this year that I really want to stay consistent on. And those are ManyChat, which allows you to say like, comment the word like new construction, and I'll send you my new construction guide. It's all automated. It's great. And then there's also Repurpose.io, which if you posted all of your videos on Instagram or TikTok or anything, like if you can save it to Google Drive, you can post them later, because we never repost the same things again.
Right.
And we should.
And we should. Yes. Yeah.
And looking at your analytics and making sure that what you're putting out is what people are actually wanting to see, or it's surprising to see like there might be a really weird video that you did, but people are like loving it for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
And then also like on TikTok, I do different content there than I do on Instagram because it's just a different audience.
Right.
TikTok, you can be kind of more real. You don't have to be it doesn't have to be as like beautiful. Whereas I would say Instagram, they still love that like beautiful aesthetic.
Right.
High quality. Facebook, I feel like that's like Wild Wild West. You get a little bit of everything on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that fully.
I think that's kind of like an older audience as well.
Yep.
And LinkedIn, obviously professional.
Right. Yes.
But those are the ones that I like. So.
Cool. So with all these platforms that we just talked about, can you give me a breakdown of kind of what your content calendar looks like? And what's your ratio in a sense of, you know, business to professional posting? Do you have one? Do you just kind of go from it organically? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I'm trying, like I have these like pillars that I'm trying to stick with. Do we always stay with the pillars? No, but we're just gonna get it done because right now it's a quantity game. Like the amount of agents that are out there trying to beat everyone on social media is astronomical from when I first started. So I think I do have like, you know, Market Monday or like Designer Tuesday or New Construction Wednesday, open houses Thursday, and I try to stick to that. But I like batching my content, and I like doing it like pretty much every Thursday morning every week. I'll wake up, you know, I feel like I have to get ready. That's just who I am. Sit in front of the camera and batch my videos, and then later on, like on a Sunday, I will edit my videos. And then I'll put them into my Google Drive, and then we'll set them to be published later on.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, you know, if I miss a week, I'm trying not to miss weeks, but it does happen. Then you know, there's no content. So it's just, you know, you have to keep doing it. It's just like a necessary evil, because if you stop doing it, then like 90 days from now, you're probably not going to get anything. And that's pretty much how my cycle works too.
Batch your content, folks. Batch your content. So, and I know, and I, you know, I had said to you earlier when we were talking, you know, that this is kind of a cheeky question, but do you have a secret to what I think your success is on social media, or just to your business in general? You know, I know, again, kind of back to, you know, the beginnings of Chloe, you know, that entrepreneurial spirit, that fire in your belly, you know, of, I would say, in a sense, in my opinion, you know, wanting to become a doctor and, you know, going into the field, you still are taking care of people. Which is absolutely wonderful. But yeah, so is there a secret to the success on social and in business as a combined, or is it hard work?
I think, well, it's obviously hard work, but I think everyone has their own secret. In order to be successful on social media or in your systems, you have to make things that work for you. And you have to think in your mind, who is your ideal client? And then focus everything around them. Make your life as simple and easy as possible. We do not need all the shiny objects. We as agents tend to have a lot of shiny object syndrome. Social media is one of the best ways where you can make a lot of money with not a lot of, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money on the tools that you use. And it's great that way. But if you're just consistent and you speak true to who you are and you speak true to your clients and what they need, then you're going to be successful. And it's going to take a lot of figuring out, and you're not going to be good at it. But like, none of us were good at it in the beginning. Like, even in real estate, even in social media, none of us were good.
But you stick to it.
You just stick to it.
See, folks, stick to itness.
Yes.
That's the thing, right? Stick to itness.
We can make up words.
We can. It's okay. So, okay, 2 questions as we finish this wonderful interview. Favorite business book, or maybe non-business book, that's personally influenced how you do business?
Bridgerton. No.
Bridgerton, yes. I knew it. Thank you, Shonda Rhimes. I knew it. She directed.
I'm just kidding. But I would say I really like, I was going to say Atomic Habits, but I feel like most books pretty much have similar messages nowadays. But building your habits and figuring out what you need to do every day consistently really helped me. When I worked in other businesses, we would do something called the Scrum method, which is you basically have a few set of tasks that you're going to do in a period of 6 weeks, and it's like maybe 3 tasks. And you want to do them in at least 6 weeks. If you don't make it in 6 weeks, then you do it in 2-week increments until you do finish those tasks.
Oh, I love that.
So you could do the same thing every day. You could write on your, I don't know, your paper, your notebook of what you want to do every day. You could write 7 things down, and you don't get rid of them until you accomplish those 7 things. So you just keep doing that.
Right.
And once you keep doing that, you just keep building your business, and you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and better and better and better.
And final question, my friend, which I'm very lucky, I think, to call you a friend. What is one goal you would like to see yourself accomplish this year, personal or in business?
Okay, well, I am on social media and I love being a content creator. And one goal that is my personal goal is to have a brand deal, like a pretty big brand deal with some companies.
You heard it here first. Thank you.
We're gonna be influencers.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's something I'm really excited about. I love doing content.
Right.
I don't spend as much time on it as nearly everyone thinks I do, and it doesn't take that much time. So I think I'm really excited for what this year is going to bring. 2023,
watch out. Chloe's rolling. She's moving. Well, thank you so much for taking your time today, for speaking with me, for being part of our first ever Shop Talk. We are just thrilled to have you here, and as always, nothing but success for this year and always.
Thanks.
Bye guys, thank you so much for joining us on Shop Talk. We will be back next month.